Do you guys speak goose? Don't eat me. But you're so damn good. Tomorrow is Eostre. Eostre's day, at least on the Pope's calendar. And I don't go by the Pope's calendar. I had a woman try to argue with me about a year ago of when spring is. And of course that woman thinks that spring is a date on a calendar, and it's really not. Because Eostre, otherwise known as Mother Nature, otherwise known as the Mother, some cultures call her Gaia. It's one of the first things that we studied in college freshman year. Tomorrow is Eostre's feast. I don't know why the Christians adopted that holiday as their own and paint eggs and eat chocolate. It's very strange. So 1,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, all the ways back to 6,000 BC. Between 6,000 BC and 5,000 BC, what people know as Stonehenge was completed. 1,500 years ago, in the late 6th century and into the 7th century, there were still rituals and a festival and practices to worship and honor Eostre, the goddess of the feast, the goddess of fertility, the mother goddess, the goddess and mother of us all and all things. And Mother Nature is another name. It's getting dark out here. And so, before the Romans left the British Islands, and before they went to Innis Mon and wiped out all the Druids, we'd be having a great big dinner, and then we'd be having a great big orgy at every stone circle all around the British Isles. And those stone circles originated up in the islands off of Scotland, what is now Scotland. 2,000 years ago, it was called Caledonia. And then 500 years later, 600 years later, the peoples there, the Romans called them the Picts. The peoples there began to start to call it Alba. But those stone circles originated, the oldest stone circles are the Ring of Brodgar and the stone circles that are found up in Orkney and the Shetland Islands and the Faroe Islands. And that is where those stone circles originated from. And the fact that the Pictish people came from a land that the tribes in Ireland called Caledonia, I think that they're more appropriately called Caledoni. The only writings about those people are from Roman scholars. Who continued to be biased based on religion up until not too long ago. But so, Eostre, the Mother Nature. Tomorrow, I hope you're all gathering at a big stone circle and having one hell of a cuddle puddle. Because that, my friends, is how the old ways were practiced. And if you're not practicing the old ways the way the old ways were practiced, then you're not practicing the old ways at all. Next time, we'll talk about what a heathen truly is, in contrast to what most pagans think a heathen is. We'll talk about what a Viking really is, because what a Viking was hasn't changed. A lot of people have changed it, unfortunately, to what they think a Viking is, but that is not what Vikings were at all. Who says so? All those guys that you think were Vikings say that they are not Vikings. But in any event, that's a video for another time, and it's much too dark. And you guys, I'm feeling a little better that I got out, got some fresh air. I've had a very, very, very sick week. And I'm very ill. But you guys, poor Daryl, you guys have one hell of a dinner and an orgy tomorrow. It's baby making day in the land of true heathens. Good night, y'all. Stay tuned for this next passage from one of my favorite heroes from historical fiction, Uhtred Arwe, Uhtred the Wicked. Take it away, Uhtred.
You do know what happens at Easter? Of course I know, I said. We make babies. It's my favourite feast, I continued happily. Easter is baby-making day. He had heard this argument before and was enjoying it. Why is it called Easter? Because our Lord died and was resurrected. Horse shit, I said. It's called Easter because it's Eostre's feast and you know it. Eostre, goddess of the spring, goddess of baby-making. You Christians stole both her name and her feast. Eostre is the goddess of the spring, and a merry goddess she is too, which means many babies are born in January. Easter is Eostre's feast, and despite all the sermons that insisted the feast was solemn and sacred, most folk had a half-memory of their duties towards Eostre, and so the babies duly arrived every winter. I had always insisted on a fair to celebrate Eostre's feast. There were firewalkers and jugglers, musicians and acrobats, wrestling matches and horse races. There were booths selling everything from pottery to jewellery, and there was dancing. And the dances ensured that the babies came on time.